The reason why I want to show you this Sylas game is because this is the perfect example, the perfect reasoning for why you should have Sylas in your arsenal in your champion pool. Because I was R5, so last pick in this match, and this was the perfect pick. I have Malphite ult and also a lot of other good ults. My character works well into these champions throughout the game. It works somewhat well with my team composition, and Sylas doesn't even get affected by mercs because it's a knock-up. So even if they buy mercs against my CC champions, it's not gonna matter too much. Which they were probably gonna do anyway. With that out of the way, just look at the game and you can see for yourself. If you want to play Sylas with this bruiser build that I'm gonna run into this game, this is the perfect opportunity. And if you don't have Sylas in your champion pool, then you are going to have to play this game with arguably worse pick, because I can't think of a stronger jungler than Sylas in this match. And you might miss out on some free LPs, so why not learn this character a bit? It's not the easiest thing ever, but not the hardest either. You just have to be aware of certain things and get into this mentality that I get when I play Sylas with the QMax, with the tanky items, with the mana, with the... You know, just nobody does this shit, unconventional stuff anyway. But I believe this is the best way to play Sylas, and you'll see what happens this game. So against Diana, it's better that Diana will try to cheese or invade early, which is one of the weaknesses of Sylas jungle. He can get a little bit hurt, but if you get a decent first clear, and it's not that slow either, even after the nerf, then you're going to be able to play the game. So, as you can see here, this guy on Poppy messes up a bit. He goes a bit too early, but then Diana goes next to the wall, I flash on her, and I should be able to get it through the Zillion. And then I'm looking here for a max range Q, without dying to the tower, I get it. But a Malphite is roaming, and I'm thinking, well, I'm just gonna check the river. If he flashes on me, maybe Poppy's just gonna save me, and then I E over the wall or something, or Anivia presses W. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case, and then they go into a fight where they give Malphite a triple kill. I die to Scorch and Comet, or some bullshit. So, yeah. Malphite gets a motherfucking triple kill, and at this point you might be like, bro, Malphite with triple kill, and double buff, Bummy Cinder Chain Vest, into Jax Simos matchup. This guy might as well rage quit, but he stayed strong mentally and he did his best to win, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as I explained before, QMax gives you much better clear than WMax, so I can farm this very efficiently, and I'm gonna go for Riftmaker first. And as I said, I want to buy a mana item on my first or my second item at least. And there are a couple options. The one that I'm gonna go for in this game is, well, that not a big deal. Just get out and then I reset, because there's not much to farm. I wore that brush to see if he places vision later, and I gank him from this angle. Cecil wants to fight. He has no flash, no boots. Not a problem. I'm gonna hit level 6, I can fight with the Diana, should have a level 6 before her, just pretty far away from level 6. And then I can go back to full clear. And we're gonna have to give that Scuttle Crab and potentially have some attention on the dragon. So why am I gonna go this build? Because Riftmaker is the strongest option for stat checking as an AP fighter, spellcaster, whatever. Other than something like Lich Bane, Notcher Stut, right? I'm gonna have Riftmaker, which is gonna make me really strong in the sustained fights, especially when I start maxing my W. And it also makes sure that I'm tanky early game so that I cannot easily get bursted by Diana and Yasuo. I don't think Rocket Belt has a merit in this match because I have access to Malphite ult. Their team is mostly melee, I'm mostly gonna fight these guys, Jinx has like no dashes, so we should be fine. Just rushing Riftmaker, and then I can go for my Winter's Approach for the mana, which is gonna synergize as well with Riftmaker, because I get some extra AP, because it's a high AP item. Sylas W has a very high HP ratio of 10% at low health. And yeah, I'm just gonna be extremely hard to burst, because these characters are gonna want to burst you with Diana plus Yasuo plus Malphite ultimate, and if I have a fat HP bar and they're not able to do that, we can just win. So here, we're just trying to kind of bait in this fight, because I'm level 7 and Sylas has very high base stats in terms of his like armor, MR, HP. It's pretty high. 1.5 HP right now at level 7. Got 200 HP from this, and I know I got a level on this Diana. So I actually decided to take the fight, which ends up being pretty easy, even though she flashed. She has Cosmic Insight, I don't think we flashed at the same time. The guy was hiding a bit in the brush there, but not a big deal. Now I can reset by Riftmaker and I get my tier. The thing is that I don't care about stacking tier early. I don't get tier on my first base. I'm still trying to get my first item as fast as possible. Now I'm gonna try to delay it with tier. Sometimes you can buy a little dark seal, which I'm gonna do anyway, but right now I just want the Riftmaker plus tier. And if I started like 9-10 minutes, I'm gonna have it on like 25 minutes max. 20 something at least, and that's fine, because what I realized, as I mentioned before in another video, Winter's approach is really fucking efficient as an item, even just from the stats. It just gives a lot of stats for how cheap it is. And because it scales pretty well with Sylas and with Riftmaker, we're gonna do well with that. And you can see these fights end up being pretty easy, even though Diana rushed an Oblivion Orb. I mean, only the Zenium, only the motherfucking Zenium rushes Oblivion over Executioner's Calling, which I think it's forever and ever until the end of time terrible. To get 800 delay on items, because your impact in a fight will be stronger with, let's say, just getting Leandri or whatever the fuck this guy is buying, compared to just having Oblivion Orb for one guy that heals. And the irony is that I'm not even maxing W, so that's G for him. Now I can get my Ionian boots. And why do I go Ionian boots? You could go Mercs here, they got a bit of CC, but I don't care about their CC. I mean, it's almost a single target Zillion, and I can just hit their melee characters and Malphite ulti the Jinx, so I don't really care about getting CC. I'd rather just stat check harder, clear faster, get, you know, more abilities in fights, just more damage and mobility and overall even tankiness. And we are... the way I'm seeing this game is that we are very, very likely to win feats of strength, and if you can get Ionian upgrade on Sylas into these champions, you are extremely unkiteable and nothing really happens. We can go a bit more about the details with what I'm doing in the game, but I'm just trying to contest these camps. I'm trying to put a lot of pressure on this Diana that's behind. We can force fights in a really disgusting way, because I am essentially unkillable, and because of triple tonic, since I don't get much value from ranking up these ults, like for example, let's say Malphite R, I'm gonna get a lot of damage. I don't have a point in W or in E. If I skill Zillion R, I'm gonna get extra healing, that's fine, but I don't really care about Zillion R in this game anyway. If I skill that R, once again, we can get 100 damage. A little bit of slow. I don't think it's as valuable right now to just have more points into my basic abilities, therefore I'm going to rank my QW and E a bit. So at level 11, I'm gonna have W maxed already, to be extremely fucking stat checky. We already put a Giant's Belt on me, so I'm 2.4k HP. Reference Dana is almost 1k HP down. So we can just constantly contest these camps. Here, she actually plays a bit careful, a bit weird. I could have actually engaged on her if I wanted to. I really thought she was gonna noob face trick because she's a bit tilted, but it's okay, we get most of the camp, and then I save my E to go on the dragon. And I just want to secure the Drake so we can get our feats of strength. There's not much to do on the map. Hope he's not really playing the map properly, she's playing too much in this match. I wish, like, I'm trying to ping her to come top lane, trying to ping her to come to different things, and I'm just trying to communicate with my teammates. Hey, I'm adapting. If Poppy doesn't come here, hey, that's fine. I'm just looking for Diana, because I know that sooner or later she's gonna go for these topside camps that are gonna respawn. And Malphite is in some trouble as well. And here, because I have such a fat HP bar, I steal his ult, and then I E in the tower. And now, if he decides to ult me as an answer, I'm gonna tank very little tower damage, and then he's gonna die anyways, so we can trade with him under tower, and then I ult him to keep up the chain CC, and then we get first turret. And this is what I really wanted to do to first force the first turret, because otherwise we would lose it here and lose feats of strength, right? So we really kind of needed to force this first tower top lane. That's why it was pretty important for Poppy to move there, but it's okay, not a big deal. She also slowed them down. Then my Jax can just TP, kill these noobs, and I can go counter jungle the Diana. Because I kept the cycling on these camps, so we just went from doing her Krugs to diving top lane, getting the tower, to getting her Krugs again. And I'm still almost 10 CS per minute pretty much. We got the 5 points W, 5 points Q, pretty much unkillable. Now we are almost 3k life. Gonna get a level up, it's pretty much gonna be 3k life. So imagine trying to kill this 3k life Sylas. I mean, I got insane healing from Conqueror, Riftmaker W, which is 400 healing right now on a 3.6 second cooldown. I mean, this is legit Volibear 2.0, but you don't have to bite people to mark them for the rebite. So, it's quite disgusting. Anyways. Keep up the choke. And this game is mostly just to showcase you that if you pick Sylas in a game like this, and the early game doesn't go terrible, there's pretty much nothing that the enemy team can do. Like, they cannot contest anything. I'm just walking in their jungle, stealing Diana's camps, walking in lanes, killing them. What is the answer? I don't know, this champion is just that overpowered, with a little bit of snowball. Because you are playing this type of build and you also keep up 10 CS per minute. Normally, if you played other styles of Sylas, maybe you would be more vulnerable to some throws. Also have some access to poke. I just really like this type of build, and then I go for Cosmic Drive, because there's like Zillion and Malphite Q. Just want to spam abilities. You could go Bloodletter here because you got a lot of magic damage on your team, and they might buy some magic resistance, of course. Malphite is going Force of Nature now, which is decent. I mean, it's gonna make him tanky, but maybe he should go Abyssal Mask to try to combo with Diana. That's probably what I would do. But Force of Nature is gonna make him pretty unkillable in certain situations. Although it doesn't matter at this point, they're too behind for that, for his tankiness to do anything. Because Diana is not getting access to anything. And when you suffocate the enemy jungler, when you play a game like this, let me know if you guys want more details on hatting and stuff like that in games like this, because we could go more in depth for sure. But when you suffocate the enemy jungler like this, he essentially cannot influence the lanes much as well, because you're constantly placing vision, constantly making him try to contest his jungle camps, constantly making himself shown on the map so that your laners know where he is. So the chances of him getting a successful gank or a tower dive or something are pretty fucking low. So this Diana just ended up being 0 KP at 20 minutes, which is the case in a lot of these videos. And even though Poppy made a lot of mistakes, even though Malphite started with triple kill, double buffs, and Varus is essentially 0 impact in this game, it doesn't really matter. We messed up a bit here, we fucked around, Zillion, Jinx. Bit overpowered combo. Here's some components. And yeah, even though this item is not stacked, if you look at it, right now it's giving me 662 health, 15 ability haste, and a lot of mana for a really cheap item. It's basically support tier of gold cost. 2400 gold, so cheers, mates. Pretty nice item. Eventually, when it's getting stacked, it's going to be one of the strongest items in the game, because not only has all of these good stats that are technically pretty gold efficient, but you also get a constant shield. So it's mostly for the mana, because you are going to go playing tank Sylas, trust me guys. I mean, right now I'm fighting an objective and still pretty low mana. I will essentially be without an item already. I tried playing without mana items, but especially in games that the fights are even slightly long, it's a pain, because you still have to use mana for objectives, for jungle camps. It's not like you are full mana at all times, and you're not always getting the mana regeneration from the jungle item. And this is a 90 mana spell. So yeah. Just believe me, it's worth going mana on this character. So yeah, it's still a Malphite ult, but even on AV ITPs, and even though we are super strong, not underestimating the Infinity Age Kraken Slayer Jinx. Like, you can get really kited as Sylas and just get DPS down and die. You don't want to be in this fight. She should have just TP'd backwards to wave clear, and that would be fine. And I'm just waiting. I'm hitting a wave a bit, then a Poppy comes. I'm waiting for them to be isolated. Poppy ults them away. I find the Diana. She flashes. It doesn't matter. We'll just right click her. I just have to be aware that I will get kited. And I will die to Jinx. Here I play Herald, try to buy some time. I guess I should have just not used it for a few more seconds until my teammates come. And maybe just place it and go steal their camps. Because my goal was to just go steal their camps. Not necessarily to place the Herald. I just had it and it was close to expiring, so whatever. I still end up going for their camps because my team arrived. I take the crab. I force Malphite to ult here. Not a big deal. I threw Q one way, E the other way. And then to cover both paths that he could take. And then I go for the Grump. And then my teammates die again. They're making a lot of throws like this, which is fine. Not everybody plays well around shit like this, but it's pretty obvious that if we are not literally hugging them, something like this is gonna end up happening. For some reason Yasuo still has wind wall after that fight, which I didn't expect, so that's why I insta-stalled his ult. I couldn't steal Malphite R yet, but maybe now I can. So it could have been a mistake. Could have maybe killed everyone with Malphite ult potentially, you know? But I have Zillion R, they have like all summoners on Jinx, so we don't have to flip it, I can just farm my entire jungle. And hey, we even end up finding a pick on this Yasuo. He's a little bit of a griefer. At this point he's kinda tilted. But even then, as you can see the goal lead, it's not very high, and there's Jinx, Zillion. Depending on what champion you play, game could still be losable. But because I'm playing Sylas, it's never gonna be losable, just because of the target access that I have against these characters, the scaling that I have against some fighters, some bruisers, just having the Malphite ultimate augments everything. It's too easy. There I had the Yasuo R still, I use it on the Malphite to get rid of it. Not the best timing on the Zillion G, but I wasn't thinking that it's gonna matter. Throw some abilities. The X goes a bit deep. Hey, could have maybe steal Malphite ult or steal Zillion R and revive him. Maybe we should have paid attention to that. Also almost ends up going down as well, but it doesn't matter. We'll end this beautiful max range E on Hubris. Clear the wave. And for some reason, Dana sneaks a dragon behind us. I decide to kill her. Get her flash. I almost end up going down as well because of the Jinx ultimate. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not even close to dying. I'll just heal back up all the damage. We get Cosmic Drive, Magi, and even a Frozen Heart. Why Frozen Heart? Because they all rely on auto attacks. Like, even Malphite, he is an auto attacker because a vast majority of his damage late game is gonna be from his W giving on hit. He didn't max it, which is a bit weird, because this spell is very strong to max. We got like 3 physical damage champions and auto attackers, but yeah. Even he gets hurt, and obviously Diana auto attacks. And I'm not playing versus much crit because there's Kraken Slayer on 2 players. And that's what happens. We one-shot the Jinx playing tank Sylas. This is the power of tank Sylas, guys. You can still one-shot the enemy AD carry. Except you are 10 times tankier. And you guys might be thinking that I'm exaggerating. Bro, you are 10 times tankier because your durability is so high and your sustain is so high that they cannot move your HP bar. And that's just how it is. They need to like get a real carry to scale up in late game. Because yeah, this Sylas character doesn't scale that well. But the Jinx is, okay, 2 levels below me, sure. But we 100 to 0 her. At this point I maxed out my ult, so it does the most burst. And boom bomba. Just fucking dead. I'll fight character a bit fast with Force of Nature and Q. It's like fucking 600 movement speed. But my E has no cooldown right now. We can almost do like double E. It's 4 seconds cooldown, 3.5 seconds to recast it. I can E, cast it later, and then E again. For example, I think you can kind of see there I essentially almost double E, which can catch people off guard. And Frozen Heart also makes the shield from Fimbulwinter a bit bigger, and also gives you a bit more health, so I think I could have went Randuin, but Frozen Heart is just much better. We overextend a bit there to try to end. We could have definitely ended if they came and hit the tower instead of hitting mid. And here I'm trying to mind control enemies. These are just like niche Sylas things you have to think for yourself a bit. It can matter in tight situations. So my ult is on like a 20-second cooldown right now, which means I can steal a Jinx R, poke them a little bit, make them not feel as much threat because they think that I cannot have access to Malphite R and stuff like that, and then we wait for a bit and I can steal another ultimate. That's it, just a little bit of damage on them, Q the Diana, W her, E away, very high movement speed with these items right now. I don't even have my Ionian boots upgrade. And then we can give time for Jax to TP in. And what I end up doing, since I know Jax will be ending anyway, I just jump in like a monkey. But unfortunately I get full comboed. And I troll, like I definitely troll here, but I just don't think it matters. Like 1-for-1 the Diana. Who cares, bro? They're gonna end anyway. The best thing I could do is go around, use my flash, steal a Malphite ult, like fucking 5-man Malphite are them. I don't know why I eat him, bro. Like it's like my brain turned off for a moment and I fucking eat the Baron like an animal. Would have went hard if I eat some like a player standing next to the wall, but hey, that's pretty much the game. Our bot lane was pretty shit. But that's just the power of R5. This player's didn't play that well, I agree. But that's just why the game was super easy. It could have been even harder if something else happened with my teammates, sure. But I think I would have still came out on top and carried just because of this pick. So, friendly reminder, you might want to invest some games into Sylas if you really care about climbing. This has to be a pocket pick for pretty much everyone. There's no reason to not have this somewhere, invest a few games into it, practice it on a smurf or in normal and flex queue, and then have some courage to pull it out in ranked. Thanks for watching, guys. G motherfucking G. Don't forget to check out my links, follow Twitch, check out my main channel, you know, all of that stuff. Join Discord. And maybe you'll catch some of these games live. I'm gonna have some live games coming up too. Some more Udyr, maybe some Volibear. I know you guys love those champions. G motherfucking G.